just how irresponsible are those comments to be made, especially in the climate today?
Really?
That's the first question.
Well, I don't know the specifics of that. I can only tell you that from a distance, I only hope that justice will prevail, and I suspect that Coach Saban will know more so that scenario.
We'll go right here.
Caused the Monroe police officer to have to respond and say that, I know for a fact the first responder wasn't an LSU fan. I just wanted to know what you knew about that.
I'd be surprised if they weren't all LSU fans. The only surprise I have is that somebody would respond to that like that. So, wow.
Coach Brian Pope, Fox 6 here in Birmingham. I know trust is important between a coach and AD, coach and administration. Was some of that trust maybe broken a little bit at the end of last year with how public your job situation became?
No, and I think the AD had little, if anything, to do with that. I think his communications with me on a regular basis, I'd say weekly, coming in and talking to me, and I was very comfortable with how he handled communications with me, and I think we have maybe better communications than we've ever had.
Hey Les, Chris Price, WBRZ, Baton Rouge. I'm just wondering, with the events that started with Alton last week, just what your process of understanding what happened and how you've gone through that and tried to talk to your team about that.
I don't know that the specific incident is as important as the generalization that can be made, because I don't know the answers of the specific incident, period. But I can tell you that our you'd like to, see change. You'd like to see compassion, and you'd like to see respect for life. And I think that our team wants to be a piece of that change and affect change as best they can. And the only thing that I want them to do is to be a good actor, do the right things, be positive, as they go forward. But I think that everybody, wherever they're at, is marked with the choice of how you affect change. And to me, the NBA showed that there was a very, very, very key members of that league stepped forward and made very pointed comments about change, and that I think our kids want to be the same. I think they saw that and emulate that in some regard, and change for us is going to be doing work in the classroom so that you can put yourself in position to go to football practice in a very, very effective mindset. And then at some point in time, with your grades in place, your practice out of the way, the opportunity to go and have community outreach and be involved and be in schools and say things, read, but then say things that, if I can do it, you can do it. And I think that example is a tremendous example for really our young people. And I think that the real agents of change are the three guys that I brought with me today. They're the guys that are going to help in change. The old coach, they're not going to watch him so much. They're going to look at that they're going to look at that young player, and they're going to want him to, to be somebody that is a role model that they can put and point to and do. I think they can have great impact as role models if they just, like Tre'Davious White, good student, bright, articulate, and really giving. So that kind of guy can make a tremendous difference.
Right back over here to your
Hey,
left.
Coach. Joe Whalen, WBMA TV in Birmingham. It goes without saying there's pressure to win every season at LSU. Given the circumstances surrounding your job security last year and then the ultimate resolution of those circumstances, do you feel more or less pressure to win this season?
Yeah, I have always enjoyed the view of great expectations. I think LSU has great expectations. I think we enjoy going in that stadium and playing in front of that crowd that feels like that somebody in this stadium's fixing to get the Tigers run right over them. Okay, and we enjoy that. We'll by and large in the last 11 years. We've exceeded those expectations many times, so I think that's something that we're very comfortable with. I have never felt an overriding pressure any differently than the first day. So I've always enjoyed my attachment to my team, my coaches, and I've enjoyed representing LSU tremendously. So it's a great community, it's a great state. No. To answer your question.
Right here.
Hey, Coach. Steve Nissen, WEAR, Pensacola. What was the emotional roller coaster like for you last year when it appeared your time at LSU might be over and then it wasn't over?
There was no emotional roller coaster in any way. So I felt like that I had, I guess it's kind of how you go to sleep at night as a coach. If you prepare, if you've done everything that you can do, if you have checked it again and again, if you like your plan, if it's something your players can do, it's not it's an advantage for you to call the game. That in offense, defense, and special teams, you're ready. You don't have any second thoughts. You sleep good at night. You don't care. There's no pressure. It's just the way it is. You've done everything you can do. Hell with the rest of it.
Hey, Coach, right in front of you. Christian Lockett said it back in the spring. The guys here today all seem to be saying it national championship or bust. Do you like that approach, or does that put too much pressure on them?
Yeah, I want you to know something. You're not going to win the national championship in the first game. In the first game, we got to play Wisconsin, and that's going to be a slug 'em. I mean, they're a very, very quality football team. We're playing at Lambeau Field. I think first things first. Yeah, you're right. It's certainly a great thing if you got one game to play.
Right here.
Coach, were you surprised at the Trent Domingue development, and did you offer him an opportunity to stay?
Yeah, he can stay. But the reality of it is I'm for Trent. Whatever Trent wants to do, he has an agenda, and I'm for it. Whatever it is, it's we'll find somebody to kick field goals for us.
Right here.
Coach
second
John
row.
Wilson with KBTX TV and College Station. A&M getting set to enter their 5th year in the league. Do you feel like the series is starting to build into a rivalry that would be between bordering state schools?
Yeah, I think it is a very quality rivalry. I think there's I think a very talented team at A&M, and we're I think we're the most Western SEC opponent I think we're the closest rival. So I think they're a talented team, and certainly we look forward to playing them. And those games have always been very, very close and hard fought.
Right back here.
Coach, Tierra Gibson, WAFB, Baton Rouge. I'm just curious, there's a lot of rumblings going around Baton Rouge that LSU football should sit out like Missouri did last year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know that what advantages that would be. And, you know, I don't know that would, I'd have to hear that from my team. And I would have to figure out that somehow the difficulty that we're faced with would get better if we didn't practice. I just don't imagine that would be the case.
Coach, Joshua Thornton, LSU Student Media. Right here, sorry. I just wanted to ask, was it a mutual decision for Sione Tuhuma to transfer, or was that something that he decided, or?
Well, you talking about Trent Domain? Sione? No, yeah, Sione, we enjoyed Sione as well. We think he's a good player. We wish him well. We recognize the position is in the direction that he took.
And Coach Miles, right here in the middle. Brandon Harris, 1 year as a starter in the system. What have you seen this spring and the summer? Is this the guy with the game on the line that he's going to deliver and get this team to the next level, possibly getting a college football playoff? And maybe
I think that I think he's in a position now where he's really looking at the artwork of the throw, you know, the style of the throw, and if that's where you're at, then, you know, if you're making greater reads, greater decisions, and you're making, you know, better throws. That's really you want a quarterback to really, you know, focus on, you know, a little bit more air, a little bit, you know, because you want accuracy that is, you know, very strong. So I think that he's there. I think he has better poise. I think he understands that he has to do something with the snap at hand and not worry about the next snap and not worry about the last snap. And I think that that's the most important, you know, piece for him.
Back here.
Hi, Coach. I'm Jamie Ostroff with WIT here in Birmingham. You were talking earlier about how the players can really affect positive change, starting in the classroom and in other aspects of their life. You know, in the wake of all that has been happening in Baton Rouge, can you let me in a little bit on the dialogue you may have had with the players?
Yeah, I probably not, to be honest with you, just on a fairness, but I can kind of give you some generalities. I think the first meeting was very quiet, they were trying to figure out exactly, you know, what's going on. I think to recognize the differences in the room, I think, you know, everybody has had different experiences, and we get to hear some of those. I don't know that the head coach did a very good job, to be honest with you. I think he didn't understand what he was looking at, and so he, you know, probably didn't translate it very well. I think we all agreed that our building was a place where, although not perfect, you know, not necessarily in any way do we hold ourselves in a position away from and different than the society or the city that we live in, but that the building that we work in is based on effort and energy and not where you're from or you know, the color of your skin or your religious preference. It's based on your commitment and your ability to give contribution to the team. And because of being able to get great effort and give great effort, guys develop tremendous relationships in that room. And I think that it's a pretty good model, in my opinion, for change. I think it's a pretty good model for society, good model for culture.
Back here to your right.
Hey, Coach. Jay Russell, KLAF out of Lafayette. We know Anthony Jennings right now is in the early stages of maybe playing for another team. If he did go to the Raging Cajuns, what do you feel that he would bring to their squad?
Anthony Jennings, I really don't know his specifics at this point. He's certainly transferring. We wish him well. I don't, if he's going to the Raging Cajuns, is that what you suggest? I think he'll be a very quality contributor there. I think he's very capable.
Back over here.
Obviously, it hurts anytime you lose, and it probably bothers you. But is there any extra emphasis for you with the lack of success against Alabama losing streak that you guys have? And do you feel like with the way those games have gone, is that one that maybe bothers you more than most?
Well, they certainly are as quality a football team as there is. We spend summertime on them. We look at how to attack them. We feel like we're in position several times to win those games, and that we really need to finish. But when you play very, very quality teams, and Coach Saban does a great job preparing them, you have to play your best. And we kind of enjoy that. We kind of figure that that's the way it works. And the good news is we get to play them this year too.
Back over here. Right here.
Coach, right here in the middle, Chris Hagan, Fox 8, New Orleans. Given what Leonard Fournette was able to accomplish last year, the school records and his leadership and play on the field, what more can you expect? How much better can he be?
How much better can he be?
Mm-hmm.
I think his vision, his physical skills, I think the success that he had last year really will allow him to see things in a like fashion. I think he will look forward to the same style of success that he had last year. I think I think he'll be more ambitious in terms of things that he can do. I think his study of football, I think his overview of football is going to benefit him, and I think he'll be better. I don't know that. I think his great runs are his great runs, and I think you can look forward to those. But whether those great runs are any better, I don't know. And those are after you're a great running back, you're pretty much a great running back. I don't know how much better that great run can be, but I think he'll be a more well-rounded back.
Right here.
Coach, not that it has a ton to do with winning football games, but when Brandon is in settings like this or interviewing and whatnot, what are you looking for from him as far as how he represents the school? And
he would represent us extremely well. I have no question that he could step in front of a microphone and be just great. Okay, it's just for me, it's not necessarily is it something that he needs to do. You know what I mean? I'd like to take that off his plate and let him just focus on those things that make him better as a quarterback. But I think that at some point in time, that'll happen.
Coach Brandon Cameron, WVUA 23. Obviously, Leonard Fournette was on a phenomenal pace and having an incredible season. He finished with an incredible season, but that game against Alabama, they had a good game plan against him. Was that a learning experience for him? Did you talk to him about what he could take from that sort of thing?
I wish I could tell you that was Leonard's issue. That wasn't. It was that defensive line did a great job against that offensive line, and at the line of scrimmage, he was being met. And so, if that's the issue, it's certainly not Leonard Fournette. It's scheme and matchup. So we'll address that. Leonard Fournette gave us everything that we had that day. He did not. We as a team needed to learn.
Right back over here.
Coach, when you have a player as good as Leonard is, can that sometimes make it difficult to, look at other avenues within the offense?
Well, you're going to give Leonard Fournette a certain number of carries, period. And off of that, certainly, those play actions should be really good. And you should get a serious number of cover one coverages and single high coverages. And so you'll have some one-on-one on the perimeter, and you should be able to take advantage of. And so, yes, you're correct, but in the same vein, you should be very efficient throwing the football. If they're concerned about Leonard, and if they're not concerned about Leonard, it's time to make them concerned about Leonard.
Two more questions, and we're going to go here before we go to the side.
Hey, Coach, right over here at Castile Hill, WCJB in Gainesville. Obviously, you're a permanent Eastern opponent is Florida, something you've questioned in the past. Do you feel that recent games, close games, fake field goals have made that a marquee matchup that should remain an annual event?
I just think that the overview of fairness for picking a champion is skewed when you have a permanent crossover, period. As an example, and I don't know this to be a fact, but if you were to go back and pick the 4 most successful schools in the conference over years, it would be those schools, okay? And if those schools have a crossover and it's an annual event, it skews the opportunity for either one of those schools to get into the championship game. Should a school that, if you were to take the bottom 4 teams of the conference and you were to see that the bottom teams of the conference were having a annual crossover that was with one of the better teams in the conference year after year, you would have to think that by percentages, it's a pretty comfortable generalization that the schedule repeats mistakes. It's not correctable, as opposed to rotating everybody. And when you rotate everybody, one year you're going to get, like for instance, we've played Florida and Georgia more times than I want to say any other school, with maybe the exception of Auburn. Auburn plays Georgia all the time, correct? So then when they throw in the Florida, they get 2 pretty strong teams in the East. All I'm saying to you is until they change that, it will not be equal, okay? You know, the traditions of the rivalry are tremendous. Don't get me wrong. I think when you play Florida, I think it's a great game, and I think McElwain will do a great job. And yes, is it a rivalry? You bet it is. Let's give it all kind of preparation. But let me just tell you what. If you want to make your path to the championship a definable, fair way, it doesn't have to do with permanent crossovers. And you just can't convince me otherwise.
Last question right here.
Coach Matt Roberts, WVLA TV. Obviously, media attention for your players is nothing new, but the volume of requests Leonard got last year, did you guys learn anything about pacing him or anything like that? When will that change this year?
Yes, we learned it last year. We learned it very early, but the problem with it is there's some real quality people in this room, and they really represent some very, very quality constituents. People that watch their TV and listen to their radio and read their blog, right? And it's an amazing thing how they I need to see him. And you know what? We end up being the bad guy, and then everybody says, "Oh, what the hell you doing? We want to." You guys, and then you just asked the question to me, did we learn anything? Yeah, we learned. No. Well, that was a really good answer.